My name is Lily Johnson, and I'm about to share with you a part of my life that I've never spoken about before. I don't even know where to begin because it feels like it's something that belongs in a different chapter, a chapter that I locked away. But today, as I sit on my little balcony, watching the golden sunset over the city, I feel ready. I feel like it's time to speak up, to share the story that I've kept hidden for so long. It all started 1 year ago, on a rainy Monday morning. The kind of morning where everything feels dark, like the clouds are hiding the sun, and the rain taps on the windows like a constant reminder that something is off. I had just turned 27, and everything in my life felt ordinary. I had a steady job as a graphic designer at a small company, a small apartment in the city, and a group of friends that I loved dearly. But despite all of this, something inside me felt empty. I was going through the motions, but I wasn't truly living. I was existing, not really feeling alive. That morning, I woke up to my alarm at 6:30 a.m. The first thing I noticed was how tired I felt. I hadn't slept well the night before, as usual. My mind kept racing with thoughts about work, my future, and everything in between. I sighed, wishing for a few more hours of sleep, but I knew I had to get up. I had responsibilities. I dragged myself to the bathroom, splashed cold water on my face, and stared at my reflection in the mirror. I looked tired, like I had aged a few years overnight. My long brown hair was tangled, and I had dark circles under my eyes. I tried to smile at myself, but it felt fake. After a quick shower, I made some toast and coffee. I wasn't in the mood to cook anything fancy. It was just another typical morning, and I was already looking forward to the end of the day, hoping that somehow it would feel different. I left for work around 8 a.m. The weather was gray, and the streets were filled with people rushing to get to their jobs. I hated the crowded streets of the city, but I felt stuck. I was always rushing, always trying to keep up, but never really moving forward. When I arrived at the office, I was greeted by my coworkers, but it all felt so distant. Everyone was busy with their own tasks, and I was just there. I sat at my desk and started working on a new design project for a client. The work itself wasn't bad, but I couldn't help but feel that something was missing. I had lost my passion for it. The excitement I once felt when I first started designing had faded. By lunchtime, I was already mentally exhausted. I grabbed a sandwich from the nearby cafe and ate it quickly at my desk, scrolling through my phone to distract myself. I saw pictures of my friends posting about their perfect lives, about all the things they were doing, and I couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy. Why didn't I feel that way? Why wasn't I happy with my life? I decided to take a walk outside, hoping it would clear my mind. The air was damp, and the streets were full of people, all rushing somewhere. I walked aimlessly for a while until I reached the park near my office. It was quiet there, and the green grass and trees helped calm my nerves. I sat on a bench and closed my eyes, listening to the rustling of the leaves in the wind. That's when it hit me. I realized that I had been running away from something for a long time. I had been running away from myself. I had been hiding my feelings, pretending everything was fine when it wasn't. I had been so focused on pleasing others, on keeping up with the expectations of my job, my family, and society, that I had forgotten what I truly wanted. I sat there for a long time, lost in my thoughts. But I knew, deep down, that I couldn't keep going this way. I had to make a change. I had to start living for myself, not for anyone else. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. I started opening up to my friends, telling them how I really felt. I had always been the quiet one, the one who listened, but never shared much about myself. But now, I realized that I couldn't keep things bottled up anymore. I told them about my fears, my insecurities, and my struggles. I told them about my job and how it didn't excite me anymore. I shared how I had always been afraid to speak up, afraid to be judged. I was amazed by how understanding they were. They didn't judge me at all. Instead, they encouraged me to be true to myself, to follow my heart. One evening, after work, I went out for dinner with my best friend, Sarah. She's been my rock for as long as I can remember. We sat at our favorite restaurant, eating our usual pasta and talking about life. "You know, Lily," she said, "I've been watching you for a while now, and you've changed. You're not the same person you were a few months ago. You're more confident. You're starting to speak your truth. I'm proud of you." Her words hit me hard. I hadn't realized it, but she was right. I had started to change. I was no longer hiding behind a mask. I was finally being myself. Then, something unexpected happened. I met someone. His name was Ethan. He was new in town, a freelance writer who had just moved to the city for work. We met at a mutual friends gathering. And at first, I wasn't sure what to think. I had always been cautious when it came to relationships. But something about him was different. He wasn't like the others. He was kind, thoughtful, and easy to talk to. We started spending more time together, going for walks, having deep conversations about life, and sharing our dreams. Ethan encouraged me to follow my passions, to pursue the things that made me happy. He told me that I was more than just a designer, more than just someone who followed the routine. He believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. At first, I was scared. I didn't want to open myself up to someone again. I didn't want to risk getting hurt. But Ethan was patient with me. Slowly, I began to trust him, and I realized that maybe, just maybe, I was ready to let someone in again. The more I spent time with Ethan, the more I learned about myself. I realized that the life I had been living wasn't the life I wanted. I wanted more than just a job I wasn't passionate about. I wanted to travel, to paint, to write, to be free. And I was finally ready to make those dreams a reality. It wasn't easy. It took time, a lot of hard work, and a lot of changes. But with each step I took, I felt stronger, more confident, and more alive. Ethan and I eventually became more than just friends. We fell in love. But it wasn't the kind of love that happened overnight. It was slow, steady, and real. He supported me in every way, and I supported him. We were a team. Together, we built a life that was truly our own. And here I am today, sitting on my balcony, reflecting on everything that's happened. I've learned that life isn't about following a set path or living up to other people's expectations. It's about being true to yourself, about finding the courage to speak your truth, and about doing what makes you happy. So, if you're reading this and you're feeling stuck, like I once was, I want you to know that it's never too late to change. You have the power to create the life you want, to live authentically, and to be true to yourself. All it takes is a little courage, a little honesty, and the willingness to embrace who you truly are. This is my story, the story of how I found myself, how I stopped pretending, and how I started living. I hope it inspires you to do the same.